Well, I figured it's time to show you how to change the oil on a 2007 Chevy LS 6-liter engine. Of course it's in this car, but it should still work on your truck too. Now, the first thing you're going to need is an oil filter and some oil. Typically you don't put 1540 in your truck or your car or anything, but since it's a highly tuned machine, we need some good heavy oil for it. But anyways, we'll just pretend like this is the recommended oil of 530. Sorry, I'm not left-handed, so yeah, 530 is probably what you need to put in it. And if you're unsure of the oil type, you can always come over here. And most new modern vehicles say right on the, well, that one doesn't say on the oil cap, but most of them say the oil weight. I'm just going to assume 530, but you should probably not listen to me, and you should probably look it up. But we'll just pretend like it's 530. Anyways, the reason I put 1540 in this car is because it doesn't get driven in the cold, and it gets a lot better oil pressure with 1540 than it does with 1030 or something. And besides that, it runs hard, so just extra lubrication, and this stuff has a little bit more zinc and other stuff that's good for stuff. And it does show a little truck on there, but still, I don't recommend you put it in your car, your everyday driver. But anyways, you're going to need basically 6 quarts of oil. I've got an extra quart laying around, so then your oil filter, and then you're going to need an assortment of wrenches, and climb under there and try to remember what size you need. Okay, you're going to need yourself a drain pan too. I try to use the drain pan that's got all the towels and tools and old filters in it, because that's usually the best one to have, or best one to use, because that's why it's got all that stuff in there. So typically on these LS oil pans, the drain plug is on the very back, but this is a short oil pan, so it's on the side, because your typical oil pan's another 2-3 inches down with the plug on the back. Now this oil pan is supposed to be 6 quart capacity. I put 5.5 quarts in it, and I don't usually have any problems, but the reason it's supposed to be, this is actually a lot thicker up front here than the factory pans. That's how they get their extra oil for being a shorter pan. But anyways, we're not here to discuss oil pans, just here to change the oil in your LS Chevy engine V8. So like I said, make sure you bring yourself an assortment of wrenches, because you will not know what size you're probably going to need. Let's see, is it a 14? No. Is it a 13? Well, obviously not. Is it a 12? No. Okay. Is it a 15? Hopefully. It is. Holy buckets. Must have really He-Man that on there. There we go. And then of course, don't make a big mess everywhere. This isn't like changing oil on a Jeep Renegade. Get my oil pen, oil catcher the way I want it, and we'll see how much water comes out. I mean oil, or both. Not a whole lot of anything, and it's better if you have your engine warmed up, but you know, it's like 40 degrees in here, so, and it's stick oil. Anyways, while it's draining, it's a good time for you to look over your hoopty and make sure that your LS is not leaking too much oil. And apparently this engine here isn't good enough to leak oil everywhere and keep the car nice and coated so it doesn't rust away. But the typical places I've noticed all my LS's to leak is right here at the front seal and the rear seal, which we replaced on this motor when we had it out. And then I'm guessing that's just something. I don't know what that is. Other than that, it looks pretty clean. I don't see any oil raining down on my head. So we'll let this drain out for a little bit and then we'll get that oil filter off. Now you definitely don't have to probably, but I'm going to fill this up with oil before I put it on, because I'm probably going to start this car in the next week or so. So that way it's at least got oil in it. See how much of a mess we can make here. Let that thing just kind of settle down a little bit. That's probably plenty. And then, as we already all should know by now, take a little bit of oil and rub around the gasket, the O-ring, whatever you want to call that. Alright, well, on your typical LS, your oil filter's right here. I'll just unthread that. And let the oil start draining out of it. As soon as it's done, we'll get our new one up on there and thread it back on, and you know, hand tighten plus a quarter turn. Okay, after you get that hand tighten on there, quarter turn, clean up all your mess, because you don't want your freshly oil change engine to start leaking oil everywhere, because then you know it's your fault. And you know, tighten that oil plug to the right torque, or watch my Jeep video on changing the oil and I'll explain how to torque your oil pan bolt. So anyways, got that all in there, got it pre-oiled. You know, depends on how scared you are about your high performance engine or your LS motor. Now I just want you to know that it doesn't work very good when you're using a oil pan full of old filters and trash and tools, but you can kind of give a quick look to see if you see any sparkles, like a nice shade of metallic in your oil. A little bit, but not too bad. I've seen a lot worse. And it's just that kind of that swirl right there, but you never know. That could have just been crap that came out of the bottom of this pan, because, you know, why would I really take this too seriously? And then, you know, you can look at your oil filter. If you want, cut it open and see what it looks like in there, but I'm not going to, because I'm that confident this motor is a beast and it doesn't need anything. Now your next step is to put your you know, your 530 oil in the engine. Then, you know, typical LS motors are 6 quarts, so dump 5 quarts in there. And then your dipsticks over here on all of them. Pull the dipstick, check it, you know, make sure it's on a dipstick. Go ahead and start your engine, let it run for 30 seconds, shut her off, let it sit a few minutes, pull your dipstick out, and then the magic number is 3. When you get the same reading 3 times, then that's probably where your oil level is. And then add if you need to, because you'll probably have to add a quart into it. But anyways, I'll spare you the details of putting the oil in there, because it's just, pouring oil in there. So we'll carry on to the next task at hand, and that's finishing up the air cleaner stuff, and go from there. Thanks for watching.